In the west, Celestia's sun slowly descended towards the far horizon, the color changing from a blinding gold to a beautiful fiery red. Within an hour, the sun would set beyond the distant hills, and day would surrender to darkness. In the east, Luna would raise her magnificent moon to reign over all the night. Below stretched the overfree forest, an unexplored wilderness that stretched far and sheltered unknown secrets. The primeval trees grew wild, with great roots sinking deep into the ground while branches tangled and spared those of neighboring trees, forming a dense interwoven canopy that was all but impenetrable in most places. Heavy vines hung lazily from trees, while brambles of thickets and poisonous flowers filled the ground. Unpredictable mists appeared out of nowhere, blanketing the forest in a thick, eerie shroud. All of this concealed the many mysteries hidden in its vast expanse. At the very heart of the forest lay a long-forgotten castle, once a soaring symbol of hope and harmony. Its crumbling walls and abandoned halls now lay as an ominous warning to the dangers possessed by corruption and madness. Deadly creatures roamed the woods, guarding the ancient ruins. Cockatrices threatened to stare into the eyes of unsuspecting ponies, turning them into statues of solid stone. Ferocious manticores lurked among the trees, their hulking forms disappearing into the mists as quickly as they had appeared, and vicious timber wolves, their howls turning a pony's blood cold, stalked from the shadows, ready to descend upon their prey with a speed and savagery unequaled by any other beast in the forest. The black Pegasus streaked over the overfree forest, hugging the terrain. The Pegasus banked rapidly from side to side, weaving among the tops of the trees whose branches threatened to snarl and entrap them. Flying mere feet from disaster, one false move would send the Pegasus to the hospital, or morgue. Still they raced with a speed and agility most unmatched in the land. A cloud bank floated high above the forest, a reddish color reflecting the setting sun. Through a narrow slit poked a pair of binoculars, carefully scanning the ground below. Slowly it moved back and forth, up and down, in a well-practiced pattern. Looking down towards the right, the binoculars stopped its scan and fixed on a black blur streaking among the treetops. Quickly, a white Pegasus stood up from behind the cloud bank, his hat low over his brow and his trench coat pulled tight over his frame. He leapt from the cloud and plunged downward towards his target. A black Pegasus zipped among the treetops. Suddenly, something caught their attention, a distant, formless mass. In an instant, the shape unfurled its wings and banked towards them at incredible speed. The black Pegasus quickly ran through the variety of options. Turn around and pray to Celestia that they could outrun the white Pegasus. Continue straight ahead and hope that they make it to the destination before the authorities could catch them. Attempt to enter the forest through a hole in the dense canopy and hide out. No. The black Pegasus turned straight towards the white Pegasus and accelerated at breakneck speed, the distance closing rapidly, each figure growing larger in the other's field of view. Within moments, the two would make a deadly collision. At the last second, the white Pegasus pulled up, allowing the black Pegasus to slip underneath him. The white Pegasus banked hard and entered a tight turn. Straining his neck, he located his fugitive flyer over the forest of a small town of Ponyville in the distance. The black Pegasus rapidly widened the distance between the two. Coming around, the white Pegasus accelerated to catch up with the fugitive, pushing him to close the distance. It was hard. The fugitive was quick and possessed quite a long lead. Still, the fugitive would face justice for their crimes. The fugitive glanced behind to see the white Pegasus slowly closing. However, Ponyville lay just ahead, offering refuge and safety. Looking forward, the fugitive was shocked to see two more Pegasi closing in, one red and one blue, both wearing hats and trench coats. Thinking hard to the left, the fugitive turned to avoid capture. Glancing back over their shoulder, the fugitive could see the white Pegasus moving to intercept. The fugitive headed towards a small farm complex in the distance. The three uniformed Pegasi closed quickly, flying right behind their quarry. The fugitive strained to keep ahead and located a large red barn among the farm buildings. Swooping down, the fugitive flew straight through the open door and towards the far side, whose door lay firmly shut. At the last possible second, the fugitive climbed and wrapped their wings tightly around their body. smashing through the second-story window and bursting into the clear skies. An instant later came the distinctive thuds of the authorities crashing into the closed barn door. The fugitive chuckled, but the sense of relief lasted only a moment as they saw the white Pegasus swooping in from the right. Quickly, the fugitive plunged down to avoid capture, and leveled off just feet above the ground. The fugitive turned towards Ponyville, and laid on a burst of speed, the solitary officer in hot pursuit. The fugitive reached the town first, and began desperately trying to lose the white Pegasus. The fugitive weaved among the buildings, flying down narrow, twisting alleyways. Still, the stallion was on their tail, refusing to give up the chase. Finally, the fugitive turned a corner. The white Pegasus followed and crashed face first into a large banner strung across the street. Struggling to get free, the officer only managed to become more entangled until he hung upside down, with just a moment to glimpse the fugitive vanishing among the buildings. "Someone get me down!" he bellowed. A few minutes later, the black Pegasus landed on a small clearing not far from the town. In front stood a small house, with a green gabled roof and vines growing around the doorframe. Stepping forward, the Pegasus knocked on the door. After a short wait, it slowly opened to reveal a brown donkey wearing a blonde toupee. He peered into their eyes, the Pegasus, before gruffly demanding, "What do you want?" "It's me," replied the Pegasus. "Who?" asked a skeptical Cranky. "Oh, I forgot." The Pegasus reached up and removed a golden amulet from around their neck. Slowly, their eyes transformed into magenta, their feathers turned to blue, and the bright rainbow-colored mane and tail emerged from under the black. Reaching into the saddlebags, Rainbow Dash brought forth a silver flask that she handed to Cranky. Cranky unscrewed the cap and took a deep swig, the smile growing across his sullen face. "Ah, kid, that's the stuff." Taking another sip, he smiled wider. "I remember a time when alcohol was legal, before the world went crazy. Here." He reached over to a small wooden table and grabbed a bag, which he tossed to Rainbow Dash. Jingling the bag, she made sure it was filled with bits. "So, should I put you down for next week?" "Better make it 2, answered the donkey. "Will do," replied Rainbow Dash as she turned to leave. "I look forward to it," retorted Cranky. Rainbow Dash headed back towards the Everfree Forest. Normally, she would fly to her destination, but with the authorities increasing their patrols of the skies around Ponyville, she judged it would be best to just walk. Trotting to the edge of the woods, she saw a thick mist covering the ground, warning of the hidden dangers. Without hesitation, she stepped through the forest and disappeared. Rainbow Dash slowly hiked through the wilderness, the dense trees and thick underbrush making going slow. Not walking along a trail, one might think her lost. But Rainbow Dash was far from lost. Instead, following a set of hidden marks and clues that guided her deeper into the dark forest. About a half an hour later, she came upon a gorge filled with darkness as the setting sun yielded to an evening twilight. Carefully, she made her way down the steep side. She reached the bottom of the chasm and turned towards a small cave opening. She climbed over some large rocks and squeezed through to a narrow crevice, entering the cavern. The faint light reflected off the wet walls that led her into a large chamber. A big copper still occupied much of the room, with a pipe running to a natural hole in the ceiling. "There you are, Dash," came a familiar voice. "Back," greeted Rainbow. "How did the delivery go?" queried Big Mac. "The G-Stallions have patrolled all over the place now." Big Mac's face darkened. "If you want out, I understand." "No way. You need the money to keep the farm going." "You know the Wonderbolts will throw you out if they ever caught you bootlegging," he stated firmly. "They can't arrest what they can't catch," boasted a proud Rainbow Dash. "Besides, bootlegging has its benefits." "Such as?" prodded Big Mac. "For starters, I get a much better workout than I do with the Wonderbolts. Second, there's the bits," she said, tossing the bag over to Big Mac. "Anything else?" Yeah, there's this. Rainbow Dash walked up to Big Mac and planted a kiss on his lips, the two sharing a long, passionate moment before slowly pulling away. That there's reason enough, he said.